Namaste and good morning. This is RJ Parima for another episode of Wellness Ke Nuskhe. I am here with Dr. Sujit Paul. Welcome to the show. And he is coach, mentor, and an author figure, counselor to so many celebrities as well as so many companies across the globe. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm fantastic.
Today we're going to touch a topic which is good yet bad. You can hate it, you cannot ignore this topic. So we talk about myths, superstitions and beliefs. I believe that we all have certain kind of belief system through which our decision making is affected. That is very, very important because that is something that defines our root of our life. And I've seen a very interesting page or drawing per se where you have multiple routes, but also your life defines which route you could have taken and where your life could have ended or where it is going in a growth manner, right? So first things first, do you believe that belief system is something that is very, very important, and it is important to nurture our soul as well as our belief system constantly while we grow?
Extremely important. What we believe is what we become. And if you have a positive belief system in life, then you emancipate into a positive soul and a positive body as an outcome where you are standing.
So while we talk about beliefs, something that is always attached along, that is superstitions. So how do you think that belief or superstition significantly impact our decision making?
Superstitions are usually negative in nature, and it impacts our negative instinct on the mind, body, and the outcome of any decisions. For example, people may have superstition that below the ladder they can't walk. Now, if the superstition is deeply ingrained in the mind, then if they start walking below the ladder, they would still think that something wrong may happen to them. People may have a superstition that when they are driving or when they are walking, a black cat should not cover or cut through the road. Now, that's a huge superstition. A cat, a dog, a human are all lives. So you can't really connote a black cat or a white cat. Now, these superstitions, when it is deeply, deeply ingrained, then it gives an extreme negative perspective of life. For example, people may have superstitions that they cannot wear a black dress in a
auspicious event.
Auspicious event. Yeah. That is the worst superstition that can happen, because as per physics, black as a color is a great absorbent and white is a reflector.
Yes.
So if black is absorbent, and if you are going to a powerful puja or activity similar to that, then you should ideally wear black, because then the power of the deity or the power of that God or the power of that universe or whomsoever you believe, that actually you absorb. Now, just because someone have told you that no, you should not wear black, is what you're believing, and then when you wear black, and then definitely something is haunting your mind. So irrespective of the cat or the ladder or this what I explained, right superstitions can be extremely, extremely beneficial. But then it's not named as superstition, then it's named as belief. And superstitions are usually negative in connotations.
That is a very fantastic approach that you've said. Superstitions can be negative, but while there are positive superstitions which are beliefs. Can you give me certain examples, like you have mentioned the negative ones? Are there any positive ones, which are beliefs?
It all depends. See, for example, a person who is positive, for him everything is positive. There's nothing called negative because he don't believe in superstition. For example, if I'm driving a car and if a cat goes by, I feel I'm so happy that the cat have nicely crossed the road, irrespective of white, black or brown. So it is a perspective of the mind. But if you start believing in what your parents must have taught in your childhood, that billi kaat gaya, then you will think that something wrong will happen. Nothing wrong will happen if you just believe that it's just a life. So it's your perspective of mind and the right belief systems that actually drives you towards building a better world. And then there's nothing called superstition.
I believe that superstition comes or is very strongly over everybody's heads is because since childhood or since a very young age, even before an understanding, you are told and taught to do this or to not to do this or to be very careful about it. I remember the exact episode where one of the cats went through and suddenly there was this surge of fear and anxiety, even though I couldn't explain why am I feeling that way. It's a cat, it's just doing its job, it just wanted to go from here to there. But that fear and anxiety, I couldn't really understand. So how does that work?
It works country to country, society to society, culture to culture. For example, what may be a superstition in some culture maybe a great belief system in some other culture or some other country. So it works like that. But during the childhood, when your parents or your society or your family have deeply ingrained that in your subconscious mind, that subconscious thought is so deeply ingrained that you cannot easily forget that or easily neutralize that. And just because you can't easily forget or easily neutralize, then that becomes a superstition for you. And that superstition becomes so big as a bubble that at times becomes a disease for you, which is at times difficult to even cure. So it's so much important for people to understand that have the right kind of belief system and not a wrong kind of superstitions.
How can somebody tell one from the other, considering it is something so strongly ingrained in our lives?
Even in my life, I had a lot of superstitions that may have been imposed from my childhood. But it's my pathway of journey that I have taken, and it was my conscious decision to understand what is right, what is wrong. Now, when you as an individual grow matured and understand what is right, what is wrong, you should have the power and courage to defy what the society have taught you. If you don't defy what the society have taught you, what your family have taught you, what your parents have taught you, then you are nothing but one more same parent as that you are becoming, and your children will be again the same story. So you're not really improving. So to differentiate, first thing is that you have to break the myth somewhere. And we have to be bold enough to break the pattern and start believing what we believe is right.
Can you give any example from your childhood or that
course,
you
yes.
have really learned something and then unlearned it?
Of course. For example, in the initial days, whenever we used to have our festivals or celebrations, we used to wear non-black as color. But moment I studied, I understood more and more, and I used to do my kriya, I had undergone the journey of my life, I thought, oh God, I was doing so much wrong. And that is the reason you will see that in India, even if there is a death, people usually wear light colored clothes or white colored clothes.
To reflect
Back. Now that is right, but the point is that then when you are going to the deity or when you are going to the universal power, then you should wear black color clothes to absorb that power. Now I changed. In initial days what I did, now I changed. I usually wear powerful clothes. Even when I go to high suit, C-suit meetings, I wear powerful black suits.
Seems like it.
So that's what I'm saying. So if someone feels that they need to adhere to what their parents have taught or the society have taught, no. You need to know how to break that myth and move away from what you have been taught and do what's the right thing in life to do.
Do you believe that our past life karma affects our belief systems today, or even in what environment we are born in?
To an extent, yes. And not only that, not only the belief system, even your attributes of outcome of emotions, attributes of outcomes of life also depends on your past life. For example, if you see that someone have got, say, everything in life that they can and that they need, but still that person is in a vacuum, still that person always feels melancholy, still that person feels sad, still that person feels that no one cares for him or her, it is because of the past lives, vacuums that he or she had. In this life, when he or she is getting everything, they are physically seeing that everything they are getting, but they can't enjoy it. They can't absorb that. Still they are feeling that no one cares for them. Still they feel that there is a huge sense of hollowness and vacuum, because in the past life those vacuums were so deep that in spite of they getting in this life, they are still feeling that whilst they have all the materials that they need, they still can't enjoy it because the past or past lives have been so much traumatic and so much vacuum filled that those vacuums are still in this life. And in spite of they getting everything, they still can't enjoy, and they will still say, no, they are not happy. Now that is the outcome of the past life.
I think that would touch a lot of people's heart, what you
But
said
that's
right now.
absolutely true, and people can connect it with their lives.
Yes.
Because since I do so much of past life regression therapies all across the world, I have seen this as case studies in multiple scenarios.
Again, I'd like to go to something that you said and which would really be very moving, that the hollow, the vacuum that you're talking about, it's unexplainable. Like you said, I'm sure there's a logical reason to it considering our past life and everything. But today, at present, I remember the first thing that was told to me is, or even I told to myself is to be grateful for what you have. That's the first step, is what I believe. You can surely add on to that and tell me that what to do if somebody really feels that hollow, knows it logically that yes, I have everything, yet there is a vacuum or sense of emptiness, and what to do about it.
Because they are not really grateful.
Is
That's
it?
the point. Because you perceive that you're grateful. Your superficial layer of the body thinks to an extent of 1% that you're grateful, but you're actually not grateful. Had you been actually grateful, then this hollow or vacuum would actually diminish to an extent. Now, your gratefulness, if my audience also can connect with this, is sporadic. Sometimes it comes, sometimes it goes off, and hence it doesn't really works for you. Your past life strings are so much closely attached that even as what I said, you have everything as you said rightly, but you still feel there's a hollow. You still feel that no one cares for you. You still feel that you don't have enough. You still feel that you need more. You still feel and feel and feel and feel. It is only because your vacuums and hollows of craters in your past life are extremely deep. So in this life, when universe have still given you everything, you're still feeling that, and hence, since this feeling is so strong in this life, trust me, in the next life also this feeling will continue. Now that's the scare.
Yeah.
That's the scare. Now in this life, okay, somehow you'll manage it. But in this life, if you really cannot be joyful with whatever you are getting, you really cannot feel that jubilance and enjoyment, in your next life, you will be in the same old sorrow, and the cycle will continue as what we have read in Gita.
Strings are always attached. How to break them?
To break them is genuinely to understand. If someone really believes in past life regression, they can do a PLR and can understand, and they can neutralize the cord, and they can actually lower down the cord. And if at all people don't believe in PLR, then they need to practice art of neutralization. This is one of the techniques that I train extensively across the world, and then they should work towards feeling genuine sense of gratefulness and gratitude. If they don't do that, I have seen enough case studies where you will carry the same hollowness next life again.
That is scary yet motivating in some manner, that we need to do something for our own selves.
Absolutely.
And also, I think this is very highly connected to our emotional well-being, considering this is driven by anxiety, and that hollowness is also a fear of missing out of something or not having enough. So how do you think we can train our emotions, eventually bring it to a certain level of actually feeling that gratitude? Not, it's a good thing that one is aware that this person should be grateful, but then to practice it through emotions. Would you like to?
See, what happens is that by the thought of not having enough itself is a thought that you are unfulfilled. Now, not having enough is a never-ending story, because even if you have a cup of tea, you can ask for 2 cups, 4 cups. If you have a $1 million in your bank, you can ask for $2 million. So the point is how you are contented to say that yes, I have everything in my life. Now, whether I have everything in my life, that could be materialistic, that could be non-materialistic, that could be things of happiness, joy, emotions, that could be things of material nature.